Hi.
here. What's
Oh, I can't
up?
hear. Dang it. Hold on. Sorry.
No
Oh,
worries.
man. I can't hear. Really?
No worries. I can hear you.
Okay. Hi.
Hey, what's
How are
up?
you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Josh? Good to see
See
you.
you
Thank
too.
you for having me.
Absolutely. Sorry. I don't know what's wrong with these headphones, but I can't hear when people talk. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, really? It's not connecting?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Technology.
I know, right? Yeah. Okay, now we're good. So thank you so
Technology
much for
always
coming.
tripping.
I know, right? So I just want to say thank you so much for coming. It's an absolute honor and a privilege to be able to have you on here. I love doing this, so thank you so much for coming.
Aw,
So
thank you so much. I'm like, let me put do not disturb on my phone really
I
quick.
have
Because
to do that
right
too.
when you hop
Yes.
on this,
Yes. I have to do
everybody
that
and
all
their
the time.
mama's like, okay, this is the time to call you.
Right?
Thank you
Absolutely.
so much for having me, man. We appreciate all the support and it's love, it's love. Wagwan, Frederick, wagwan.
So my first question to you is, how would you describe your youth, like how you grew up?
So I live in LA now, but I was born and raised in Chicago, and Chicago it's such a beautiful place. Architecturally, it has this gorgeous, clean, beautiful layout. If you've never been, people should go. I trained as a dancer when I was young, ballet and jazz. Jazz is more my emphasis at Gustier Dance Studio, and I played basketball. And growing up, in the city, being at the high school I went to was very diverse. I'm half Caribbean, I'm half Guyanese, Masaya, and half Irish and German. So when I picture my youth, it's a blend of everything from driving up, to to Toronto for Caravana, which is a big reggae dancehall festival, every year, from Chicago to playing ball. I think those are some of my vivid memories, all the way to just creating our own plays with. I'm a fraternal twin, so my twin and I, we used to create our own plays in our room. So it's filled with a lot of beautiful memories, but I also had some struggles as well, that
Absolutely, yeah.
really that really made me the person that I am today. That really pushed me to aim for and to believe in something higher, and so I think that's part of why I do what I do. Hopefully I can get that message out to other people, that they could do what they want to do too. Just
Absolutely.
keep going.
Yep. Wow, I relate to that. That's awesome that you grew up in Chicago. When we hear about Chicago in the news, it's always kind of like, it's sort of negative. You know what I'm saying? There's people trying to push like this negative stereotype about, oh, Chicago is the worst place in the entire world. But it's just like, if you ask the people who live there, it's like, no, if you actually have to live
Yeah,
there to get what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't
for
like that.
sure,
I
for
don't like
sure.
that people do that about any place that they're not from. Like, how are you gonna ask the
Yeah,
people who are from there and then say what you gotta say? I've never liked that. I've just never.
yeah.
It just feels
Yeah,
very
it's like,
ignorant.
even, yeah, just and that's the word right there. Oh, I see you, now period to a grown girl. We're going GT stand up. Sorry, I'm like, let me not look at the comments, because I'll be having conversations with them all day. But it really is ignorance. And I think if people really looked at it for what it really is, Chicago is an amazing city. And even the people who, I grew up, in this city. So I had lots of friends, who are in gangs. And I think people look at them as that they're these horrible, bad people. But the reality is, no, these are people who weren't given opportunities. So before you judge somebody, look at them for the human that they are. People go through things. People aren't born wanting to, buck the gun. You know what I'm saying? People
Right.
aren't born wanting to go out here and have to sell drugs. But there's some people who have to do this because they're trying to survive. They're trying to feed themselves. Or they grow up
Right.
in neighborhoods,
Right.
that oftentimes, you might be walking down a block and you feel like, I gotta join this gang or I'm gonna get jumped every day.
Right.
And so I think people really need to, eliminate the judgment and say, you know what? what can we do? Who can I call? Who can I write to implement more programs so there are less beautiful people? Because I still feel like people who, have committed crimes and stuff like that are people who it could be any one of us. They just happen to go left, when they need
Right.
to go right. You know what I'm saying? So versus judging, I think people should say, okay, what can I do to help, Chicago implement some more programs, that will, that will help the city and that will help me better understand the city. Because I love Chi-Town, stand up. I love my city. I love it, and I'm proud of it, and I'm proud of all the people who come out of it, and I absolutely do hope that the gun violence stops. I got 2 nephews out there. I'm constantly worried about them. It's, I pray for my city all the time. I pray for my city all the time. And, sorry, not to be too long-winded, but people also have to realize a lot of the violence is in very specific neighborhoods.
Right.
And these are the disenfranchised, the ignored neighborhoods.
Yes.
So I think before people judge, use your voice to spark change. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely. I can 100% understand. Yeah. I'm glad you're can give that perspective, because I think it's really needed with everything going on. Like, we're in the pandemic, we have Black Lives Matter movement going on. There's just so much. Yeah. And I think it's very important that we have a voice from areas which is constantly tossed in the media in a negative light.
Yeah.
I think it's very important to hear from that side.
For sure. Like, even people are like, oh, well, the creators of Black Lives Movements are this and that. But it's like, but if you stick on that, you're missing the message. The message isn't just about an organization that created it. The message is that Black lives do matter, period. Brown lives matter. All lives matter. Let me not say all lives matter like that, because, I don't mean that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, essentially, yeah, they do. But, like, people who are like, oh, all lives matter, like, that's GP. You know what I'm saying? That's general principle. We know that. Right now, what we're saying is Black lives matter right now because they're literally being killed by police officers, literally being killed for just being Black, and it's like, it's crazy that people always try to find, the negative in it. It's like, no, like educate yourself before you judge something. Right. It always goes back to that. So I don't know. I think if people are negating it, it's like you got some inner workings and some inner things that you need to work on. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're so quick to judge versus actually try to understand.
Right. I think a lot of people nowadays need to be more open-minded to viewpoints on both sides of things. People just need to be more open-minded and try and understand one another instead of always want to go at each other's throats. Someone might say something you disagree with, and your first instinct is like, hey, what'd you say? Like, get all up in their face, But I think it's very important that we have to learn, especially during times like this where it feels like there's a lot of division, that we need to be open-minded and understand each other's viewpoints so we can have a fruitful conversation and get somewhere in life. Because with all this bickering back and forth and hatred, we're not going to get anywhere. We're just going to be stuck in the same place we were. Like, I mean, this year's crazy. I mean, it's going to probably be a So
you said it, hatred, like I think what's been lost is love, because when you come from a place of love, I'm so much about elevating yourself to a place of love, because when you come from a place of love includes understanding, it includes curiosity, it includes respect, it includes standing up for people who need it. Love is something that when you genuinely understand it and tap into it, you realize it's not just about self, it's about others as well, and I think that's that's like you said, it's a lot of these judgments are rooted in hatred, and if that's one wish I could have, it's love, man. Like, change that perspective back to love,
Absolutely, completely agree. So did anyone push you into acting? Did anyone say that, hey, you're really good at this, or,
No, not really. When I was young, I just think my upbringing is what really pushed me to acting. I had a twin. We used to, do plays on our own, in the room. Okay,
Right.
now you're a Simi Valley cheerleader with her leg broken. She just found out her boyfriend cheating on her. You know what I'm saying? So like we would always drop
Yeah.
into these crazy characters, and dance, putting on dance routines and little plays with my cousins during the holidays. I've always been like this natural performer,
Hmm.
ironically, that carried over into basketball. I played basketball on scholarship. LWC, shouts out. I played basketball on scholarship, and after school, I was actually going to be a physical therapist.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I was personal training for a little bit, and I was working at a gym, and my mind wasn't on entertainment. Like, I always wanted to be in entertainment, but my school didn't offer any arts programs,
Right.
but they offered that scholarship though. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go there.
Yeah.
Um,
Of course.
you
Of
know,
course. Yeah.
yeah. So like working at the gym, I ended up having, a lot of people asked me to do, local fashion shows, and I auditioned for my first commercial, and I booked it, and it was, a local commercial, but it was just like, I was in my essence when I was on set. I was happy. My energy was vibrating. And I was like, girl, how could you forget about this? This is you, So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this. So my bestie was like, hey, if you want to do this, he was an actor as well. He's like, if you want to do this, you got to move out to New York or LA. And I was like, done deal. So I worked like 5 jobs. I stacked my money. I tell anyone, the biggest advice I have is stack your money before you go anywhere to pursue a career. You know what I'm saying? Like, stack your money so you're not focused on the money, you're focused on your craft,
Right.
So that naturally segued me back, into the entertainment career, something I just always naturally did. And I'm so glad, I'm
Yeah.
so glad that she found me again,
Yeah. That's a great story to have. Yeah, I can tell that you
Thank
love
you.
doing this and that you enjoy. It's very important to pursue your goals in life because it's very important to have something to strive towards or something to dream about. Because there are a lot of people in this world
Sure.
who sadly don't have any
Yeah.
dreams or aspirations or goals and just live their life. Um, one of my friends
Yeah.
was talking to me. What did he say? He said, "People walk this earth like they're about to come back. Like you got to live."
Yes.
Someone told me about that. I was like, "You're right. We're like once we're done, it's done. Like we're
That's
going
so true.
going wherever. People want like
Yeah,
that. It's very important to have something to work
for sure. And
as
even
in
if
your
you do
life."
come back, yeah, I'm so sorry. It was a little delay. I'm so sorry if I
I know
cut you
you're
off.
fine. No, 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 you're fine.
I swear I'm not doing it on purpose. I swear.
It's
But yeah,
fine.
but it's true, because even if you do whatever you believe in, I'm very all encompassing. You know what I'm saying? You see Buddha, I got I was baptized Christian Catholic. I listen Muslim prayers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very all encompassing, because I do believe it all centers back to love. But in the same breath, even if you believe in multiple lives, what are you gonna do in this life? What energy are you gonna manifest in this life so that it
Right.
does carry to another life?
Right.
So I agree with that 100%, 100% for
Yeah,
sure.
I remember when he told me that, I was just like, whoa, that's powerful. I was like, yeah, that's really, because that's really true.
That
Like,
is.
so yeah, so it's very
Mm-hmm.
important. What was
Yeah.
the most difficult part about acting when you first started out?
It's so funny because I'm gonna be doing an IG live with an amazing stylist who I worked with on a Kenra ad that I did, and it's about hair, natural hair. And the funniest thing, 2 things, me being multi-ethnic, being mixed, I often felt, because I've been out here a little bit over 10 years.
Hmm.
Recently it's changed. They have these terms like ethnically ambiguous, stuff like that, whatever. But I felt like people couldn't figure out where to really put me. I felt pressured, going to the hair thing to straighten my hair for auditions because,
Mm,
I even heard the comments, like unmanageable hair or messy. Boo, natural curls are popping.
right.
There's nothing messy about your natural hair. If it's straight, if it's wavy, if it's curly, if it's a fro, whatever it is, like, Like, I mean, yeah, there is a manageable hair when you're not managing your hair.
Right.
But just because someone's, you know what I'm saying? But just because someone's not doesn't have a certain, look,
Hairstyle,
doesn't
right.
mean, yeah, it doesn't mean that, oh, there's something wrong with, oh, it's too thick. Like, oh, God, oh my gosh. Like, if I had one more person tell me my hair was too thick, I'm like, yeah, it's thick. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you hating on my hair right now? Seriously. But, I think, that was definitely the hardest, thing. And also, and it's still something I'm learning now is, I consider myself a true artist, from writing poetry, I'm working on scripts now, I collect, women's vintage apparel, I curate that. So it's still something I'm learning to this day is balance. And you really have to be able to focus on one thing at a time. Like, not that you can't do other things. You could definitely be a Renaissance man, a Renaissance woman. But when you are in something, you need to fully be in that. Even if it means, okay, I know Monday, I'm working on this. I know Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm working on this. I know this day, I'm working on that. But also prioritize it. Like, what's really for me, I'm trying to prioritize based on what work can I do that's going to help others,
Right.
Like that's really key. So going back to your question, I think the hardest thing was just trying to get outside of this box. Like, don't put me in a box, you try to put me here and I'm here, I'm a circle, I'm a circle light, so I think that was definitely the biggest thing for sure.
Okay, yeah, I know people talk about that in the industry about race and like their hair and how people look at them and how it's kind of hard to get into the industry. So, yeah, I most definitely can understand that. What was your first acting gig like? How'd you describe it?
It's funny. Well, there's stuff I did as a child. Speaking about that, probably the first thing that really rang out to me and others was I remember our kindergarten graduation, and we were singing, what's the Aladdin song? A whole new. Oh my God, these fires got me a little hard. That is not the key. I know, fantastic. No, point of whatever. But it's so funny because I remember I was like in there trying I was trying to hit keys. And then my classmates looked at me and the music teacher was like, you have something special. Never forget that. He later actually hit me because I posted some poetry. He was like, you were a writer since you were young. I used to tell you when you were young. I know you probably don't remember me or whatever. But, that's just like the kiddie, whatever. And I swear I could sing on a good day. I swear that voice was not hitting right now. Sorry, y'all. Sorry if you guys got headphones in. And I just busted your eardrums. My first experience was I did a local commercial. It was, that was a thing where I was like, oh, I want to do this. But it was a local shoe commercial in Chicago, Turning Shoe Outlet. And it was so much fun because not only was I lip singing Turning Shoe Outlet, I also that song will never leave my head, I kid you not. But I was dancing and trying on shoes, and it was so funny. I ain't got no small feet. I wear size 10, so I'm trying to angle my feet so they don't look like duck flippers, but but it was so much fun. And that commercial, that thing ran forever. I used to have people texting me about that years later, oh my God, I just saw your commercial again. I was like, I wish I got a residual checks because I didn't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? That was independent. I got a nice check when they first paid me, but I was like, I learned so much about that. But just the experience of not just being an actor, but seeing the mechanics of behind the scenes and how it works, and having so much respect for the crew, man. I always say it in every interview, you better make sure you pay, homage to your crew because they're working hard. Not that they're, not working, because the actor does take a lot, but they're working hard, just as much as you, or even more. They're there before, they're there after. Think about the boom person, that's holding up the boom,
yeah.
I was just saying this earlier. I was like, my muscles aren't set up for all that. I was an athlete, but my muscles are not set up for that. So,
Right.
but it was fun. My first experience was fun. Now the audition process, it was fun, but it was also a little nerve-wracking because they had me doing a lot of things and like
Yeah.
turns, and I get a little dizzy, I get a little balance from, so I'm trying to make sure like, girls, do not pass out when you do this turn, do not pass out. So yeah, it was luckily it was fun, but also filled with a lot of nerves,
Right.
for sure. So if anyone out there pursuing it, know that nerves are natural, learn to like embrace it, and you might even be able to push that into serving your character,
Right. I
For
think nerves
sure.
come with like anything you try for the first time. Because like when I first started doing interviews,
Hmm.
or before our interview, I feel like my heart was in my stomach. Like I was nervous. Like before every
Yeah.
interview, I'm nervous. I have to like pace. I have to drink water. I have to sit down. I have to get up. I have to walk around. It's a whole ritual.
Yeah.
But nerves come with like
I
anything.
understand.
So yeah, I have to do a whole
Yeah.
thing. But
That's a good thing. That's a
right,
good thing. If you lose nervousness, that's when you should be worried. Because that means
right.
your human mechanisms ain't functioning right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I hear that a
Then
lot
no.
too. Right. So, what are some other things that you're into?
Writing right now, my bestie, she came up with a great idea years ago for a superhero script, and we developed our characters, and we, shot a short, and we kind of dibbled and dabbled with it. It was put on the back burner for years, and over the past few years, it was in the back of my head, back of my head, back of my head, and I was like, you know what? It was on the back burner because the world wasn't ready for it, but the world's ready for it now. I can't go into too much detail, NDAs and them things, so they
Right,
set
right,
up,
right, right, right.
But it is so powerful. It is so diverse. It is so real. And I'm just excited to get it done and get it out to the world, because I'm telling you, man, look, from my lips to God, please let it be so. I feel like it's going to inspire so many people,
Right.
and from all age ranges, but in particular the youth. And I have this huge soft spot for the youth, and I feel like if you're not doing something, even if it's just walking down the street, and seeing a kid who's down, just smiling and making a little joke, I feel like it's so important,
Yep.
because we got to set up the next generation. So I'm
Yeah.
really excited, yeah, about that. I've been collecting, vintage women's apparel before I wanted to. When I was young, we couldn't really afford clothes. It all started from
Right.
hitting a secondhand shop, and now it's transformed into, we'll see, I'm waiting for the right alignment, the right time for me to get that out. But I have an abundance of pieces, an abundance of clothes, and I love that. That you could check it out, at Vintage Orion. I have some shots, just a few pieces. But I'm just trying to choose the right moment to share that with the world. But I
Right.
love vintage. I'm in love with vintage retro, from movies to
Right.
starlets to just the chivalry that men had, that knock
Right.
at your door, whatever, the way they dressed, it was just so debonair, and
Right.
so yeah, no, definitely, and also poetry, that's always in me. That's something I always do. It's my therapy, so writing poetry. I've written some songs too, but I'm like, I'm not trying to put everything out, just
Right.
yet. I'm like, if it's meant to align, it will. Who knows? Maybe a song will be on, the superhero soundtrack or something.
Right. Right.
Um, but yeah, but just acting, that's my main thing. But I consider myself an artist, and even from like painting, therapeutic painting that I've done before. That a lot of the inspiration is from my great uncle Aubrey, who unfortunately I never got to meet, but he was an amazing artist. He lived in Guyana. He was in the military, ended up, in the rainforest of Guyana. Because a lot of people don't know, Guyana's in South America, but it's still considered Caribbean. It's the only, country on the mainland that's still considered what we consider ourselves as Indian. And he was very inspired by the Waru tribe, the indigenous people there. And he, if you see some of his paintings, Google him, Aubrey Williams. Amazing, amazing work. And you could tell, I'm like, ooh, you definitely see some stuff in the Amazon for sure. So whichever way I could express myself, is definitely what I'm gonna do. It's my therapy.
Right. Same for me too. I have a lot of stuff like reading, playing games, writing music, writing. I've been getting more into writing ever since quarantine. I've been just trying to read more, write more. Just keep my mind busy with it. Like, how have you been handling this pandemic? Like, I know a lot of people are like crazy.
You know what? Yeah, it's been ups and downs, but
Right.
in this weird way, I felt a rebirth. In this weird way. I'm blessed to be surrounded by. It's you could really drown in the water, so to speak, or you could swim through the ocean and surf the waves. And I feel like there's definitely been some drowning moments for sure, because I miss that human connection, but I also feel like there are moments where I'm like, oh, I'm hanging 10 on this big tube wave right now, and I think a large part of that is because of my tribe. My bestie, she created this amazing organization, Caribbean Creatives. Shouts out. It's an amazing group of Caribbean women who are determined to have our voice represented more in Hollywood. My bestie's she's the head of Women in Color filmmakers, amazing group of supportive women. I also joined this amazing group where we study the Constitution and knowing our rights and how to deal in situations like if we're pulled over by the police. The brother Bruce Stevens, he put that together. Brilliance Limited, make sure you follow him too. And it's been very inspiring. I've been doing way more writing. I've been way more creative. And it's really one of those things where I just feel very, very, hey, I see you, Chado, what's up, boo? It's really one of those things where, you could, like I said, you could drown or you could elevate. And I felt this amazing rebirth that I'm so grateful for and I'm so thankful for.
Right.
And it also was a reminder of the importance of the human connection, because if I didn't have these connections with people outside of my world, I probably would have been drowned. So if there's anyone out there drowning, I say reach out, connect as much as you can, get on a Zoom call, tap into something that's been so buried so deep inside you that's just yelling to come out. Just yelling to come out. Tap into it. I think my Bluetooth disconnected. Hold on. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh no. Okay.
You can still hear.
I should cut out. Uh-oh. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
I can hear you. You cut out for a little bit. Like I can see. Okay, good. Okay,
I'm just gonna take this out. Technology can just be tripping.
I know, right? Yeah. I hope they're probably gonna perfect that in the near future. I bet. No, the future is gonna be crazy. But yeah, I completely agree with your feeling of rebirth during this quarantine and stuff. I've just been more into spirituality and like reading and like I said, writing, getting into music. I bought a guitar. I'm trying to learn. Even though I bought what's it called? A capo. It's like the thing you put on the guitar. I tried to buy it from Wish, and funny story.
It took like 10 years to come.
It never came. And I emailed them, and they were like, the sender shipped it back to where it came from originally. So it never came. So I don't have one. It's stupid. I'm mad. I'm never buying for Wish.
Go on Amazon. It's so funny because I got a Congo, but I also have I have a cigar box guitar as well that my dad's mom. It's dope little guitar. I need to learn it though. It's collecting dust. So hey, props to you. Learn that, learn it, play it, record it, post something. I want to see something.
You definitely are. As soon as I get the hang of it, you're definitely like, I'm gonna go crazy. I do want to start a band at some point, probably like when I'm 20. Probably start a band at 20 and then go from there. Yeah. So who is one actor you would like to work with in the future? Someone you looked up to, or just someone you know?
You know, I would say, you know, unfortunately, you know, one of the people I want to work with, we just lost recently, unfortunately, the brother Chadwick Boseman.
Oh,
Um,
damn.
yeah.
Rest in
He
peace.
was just so
Yeah.
magnificent. He embodied the essence of just, you know, respecting a character. And through that respect, bringing life to it that we couldn't have, that we never could have, you know, visualized, you know, that someone else could never have brought to it, you know.
Right.
And you know, I pray he's resting easy. Prayers to his family.
Of
But that
course.
was definitely a brother I definitely, you know, wanted to work with one day. You know, you got, you know, Daniel Day-Lewis, Gary Oldman, you know, I mean, Lawrence Fishburne, you know, I mean, there's just so many, you
Right.
know, amazing, you know, Tracy Ellis Ross, she's hilarious. I love her. God, I know there's so many names that I'm probably just completely missing right now.
Right.
You know, but I definitely hope to work with my friends too on projects. I hope me and, you know, my booskies, we get to work on some stuff together.
Yeah.
God, I would literally have to sit and like really think long, because there's so many actors, you know, and actresses that I respect.
Right.
But I would ultimately, I would love to work with someone who I could feed and who could help me grow as well. You know, someone who really understands the art of listening, understands respecting what the writer wrote, you
Yes.
know, not being scared to ask questions, not being scared to give me advice, not being scared to take advice. Like, those are the type of, you know, actresses and actors that I want to work with. You know, people who don't just live in themselves, but are about, that understand, you know, I can't just be in my head. I have to be open to everything, because if not, it's just going to be a very one-sided scene, you know, and
Right.
those, you know, those suck.
Right. Yeah. You could
You
definitely
know?
tell when an actor's heart is into it, or their ego got in the way, or they're just kind of phoning it in. You can definitely tell. It's very
Yeah.
apparent. So.
Yeah, for sure. I
So
fall
one
into some of my
BR.
outfits, I fell into that. No.
So one BR is the new Netflix. It came on Netflix. It came out in 2019, but it's now on Netflix. I watched some of it. It's really good. I'm enjoying it so far. It was number one in the U.S. So how did you feel when you found out that was number one in the U.S.?
Woo, boy. I call my mom like, Mom, I'm winning an Oscar. No, I'm just kidding.
I would
You
have,
know,
you know.
I was so grateful. You know, I have been out here for a long time, you know, and moments like these, like, it's just a reminder, like, girl, keep pushing. Don't stop right before the finish line. You know,
Right.
keep believing. The drive that you have is going to influence someone else. You know, it's going to inspire someone else. And that's really, you know, what I want to do. So to see that this little indie that could,
Right.
to see it shining, I was just like, I was just so grateful. Like, my heart was, I was excited. There were so many different emotions going. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You know, it's just gratitude. I think that's absolutely the main thing that rang, you know, through, is like, man, I've been working so hard, and you know, so just for people to be able to see, you know, not just my work, but the fellow actors, you know, the writer's vision come to life. I was super grateful for that. You know, I mean, it's, you know, I saw it next to, you know, Project Power, which I thought was such an amazing movie. Jamie Foxx, I would love to work with him. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm forgetting, Natari. I can't believe I'm forgetting the main actress. She's so amazing. She's so amazing. I just saw her in another movie on there about adoption, and she's trying to get her sister. I'm so sorry to her. Like, she's such an amazing actress, but just to like be next, you know, Lucifer, like to be next to these amazing shows and movies, that is the ultimate feeling of gratitude and thankfulness, and like recharging the belief. I'm like, man, I'm ready. Let's go. You know, some people it may happen tomorrow. Some people it takes a minute, and I'm in this game for the marathon. You know, so I'm like, let's go. It's only up from here. It's only up from here. You know.
Right. Yep.
And that was after years of, you know, ups and downs. You know, there's definitely some highs and lows in my career. So it's a good feeling. It's a
That's
good
good.
feeling at its core, you know, for sure.
What are you the
Hey,
most proudest of this film?
you said what now?
I
Sorry.
said, from this film, what are you the most proudest of?
You know, I really from the film or my character, both. Or sorry, I
You
don't
can
wanna.
go both. You can say both.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
From the film standpoint, I love that it addresses, you know, something that can very much is very realistic. You know, if I always tell people, if you come out to LA and you don't know yourself and you think you're gonna find yourself out here, you are opening yourself to all types of energy. You are opening yourself to a higher possibility of getting lost. You
Hmm.
know, so you know, I always tell people before you move out here, make sure you know who you are, you know, because then you'll be able to pick up on things a little bit more, you know. And I
Right.
think when BR, you know, David Marmor did such a great job of showing how, you know, going back to that human connection.
Right.
Sometimes people, they may go out and end up in a relationship. Sometimes people may join a cult because ultimately at the core of it, you know, and not just judging, because there were some crazy things they did. I was like, Lord of mercy, what, you know,
Yeah.
but at the core of it was just hoping for something. It was a drive for connection, you know. And
Right.
like I said, sometimes it's expressed in crazy ways, you know, but if you really look at the core of it, it was just their need to connect, their need to feel like they had a sense of community around them. Because in LA could be a very lonely city, you know. Even like,
Hmm.
you know, your best friends, they live up the street, but you still might see each other once a month, once every 2 months, because your schedules are so different,
Right.
you know. So, you know, that was definitely something, you know, I respected about the movie. You know, even there are some crazy things about it, you know, you guys gotta watch. There's some craziness in there for sure,
Right.
you know. But Lisa, what I really loved about Lisa was that she was a voice of reason, you know. And she's kind of like a reminder, very very relative to what's going on today, but she was the reminder that, hey, just because someone tells you you have to do something or this is a better option, that does not mean it's so, you
Right.
know. Like, you know, and I think she was just trying to, you know, she was the voice for, you know, Sarah, who was constantly getting bickered by the boss and bullied by this cult, you know, pretty much to join it. You know, she was just constantly, no matter what, she never gave in. And I really admire her resilience. I admire her strength. I admire her being the one that's like, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you try to do to me. I am not going to give in, because like my backstory with it was that she's been lost before. She fell for the okie doke before, and
Mm.
she rebirthed from that. You know, like we're talking about the rebirth thing. She came out of it and was like, never again, never again.
Right.
You know, so she was that voice of reason. You know, and I think it's so relative, you know. I was saying earlier, I think it's so relative to like what's going on to society. Like, people are protesting, people are standing up because we're just asking for a voice of reason to understand the essentialness of life, which is human rights. You
Hmm.
know, like, stop rebuttaling, stop kicking back at us. Just understand, stand with the voice of reason, and maybe you'll have a clearer view and a clearer understanding, you know. So, or you could just fall into the cult and they say it's no. You know, but it was
Right.
it was fun. And you know, indie films are always fun. You know, I feel like my experience being on professional sets of indie films, I've had some great connections, you know, on the not professional, because indie is still professional, but on
Right.
the, you know, bigger budget stuff. You know, I still have some great connections on that as well. But there's just something about indie films where you could just kind of feel the hope and the drive in people, and you know, and you have more conversations about that. You know, I think you're a little bit more vulnerable,
Right.
you know. So it was a great project. I'm so thankful I was blessed to be a part of
Yeah.
it.
Well, glad you were a
Yeah,
part of it. I'm really
thank
excited for the future of your career, where it takes you. What is some advice you would give to upcoming actors or actresses?
you. Know who you are is the first thing I would say,
Right.
because you know, like I said, you know, if you come out here and you're trying to find yourself, you'll get lost, you'll become other people. Know who you are. Do whatever you have to do to find who you are. If you feel like, I can't find who I am, and don't steer away from that. you know, embrace it and realize that your gift is so unique and special to you. And the
Yes.
world needs your gift. You've been
Absolutely.
given that gift for a reason. Actors or anyone, you know, interview anyone, anybody. You know, I'm gonna make you cry. I'm sorry, babe. No,
Oh no!
I'm
Oh
just kidding.
no!
I'm just kidding.
I'm
I'm just kidding.
But we
I'm
are
just kidding.
having an amazing conversation, though. Like this is very, very fruitful back and forth. Absolutely,
For
100%.
sure.
Yes.
Ah,
So
thank you. But
yeah.
yeah, you know, I'm so grateful that you opened this up and had this and allowed a comfortable environment. But you know, going back to that question, like, know who you are, realize that there is a market for you. If not, create it, because there are so many platforms and ways and communities that are looking for people like you who want to help you create it. You know, and to be in this race, like I said earlier, for the marathon. If you're in this race for the sprint, what happens after people sprint? They're exhausted. It's hard.
Right.
You know,
Right.
but you know, marathon, yeah, they're tired too. But if you're in it for a marathon, you're not going to just base your career on, oh, my looks, or oh, this, or oh, I'm going to go out there for 6 months and I'm either going to hit or I'm not. It's like, no. Like, what career would you pursue like that? You have to give your heart, your soul, your commitment to it. And yeah, even though sometimes that's how LA is, you may have to do other things to support that career. Do not stay away from your dream, because it is your dream and you had that vision for a reason. You know, so own who you are, look for the market if it's not there, create it, and be in this for the marathon. You know, like I said earlier, I'm gonna be Betty White in this game. I'm trying to act till I'm gone. You know, like I don't want, oh, you know, just cast based on this, but I want to act because my energy radiates no matter what age I am. You know, so if that's the advice I could give, you know, to my fellow brethren and sister actors and actresses out there, that's the little nugget that I would share for sure.
Amazing. Yep. I would. Wow. That has to go for every field you're in. Like you can't just be in it for the small stuff. You have to. You have to put your all into it. If you're not, you don't put your all into it, you're not gonna get all out of it. It's true what they say. You're gonna get out what you put in. That's 100% true. And if you just
that part
there for the small stuff and just not there for the long haul, then you're gonna barely get anything. So
yeah, and you're gonna feel more drained after you leave it because you weren't doing it for a genuine reason. That's
right.
That's so on point. Hey, everyone down there, what's up? Hey. Sorry, I'm just saying hi.
Oh, you're
hey,
good.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yes, thank you. For watching. This has been a crazy ride. I started this in April. I never would have imagined I'd be here. I really haven't. It's kind of crazy. Thank you. It's kind of crazy. I just honestly, it was just the most random piece of, like it came out of nowhere basically. What I asked was, I went to, sorry to make it about me, just real quick. But
no. Look, that's what the conversation is, though. Dialogue. Come on.
So I went to the band Grey Days, and that's Chester Bennington's first band. If you know who Linkin Park is, Chester Bennington's singer. I asked Grey Days because they were making a album, a post-humanist album, I guess is what it's called, and they made it for him. I asked, can I interview their bass player? And I thought they would have said no, and they said absolutely with it, like in that. And then I've just been interviewing crazy people, so it's been a great experience, to say the least.
That's so dope. Yeah. That's so dope. Oh, Linkin Park's so amazing. Just, you know, he shared, you could feel his pain. I think, you know, my brother I think he was like molested and stuff growing up, and you could just hear, you know, yeah. But when you take that pain and you turn it into something different, I mean, like, that's just a reminder, like, look how many people they touch.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm so proud of you. That's so awesome. Big up. Let's get some pop up on some hearts for the house.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I guess I have two more questions for you. Spirituality or religion?
Spirituality, for sure. Okay. All encompassing spirituality. Yeah, going back, it's all to me, I think, it's all one. The essence of it is love. And I don't judge anyone on whichever path you choose, but realize that a lot of things are created out of power and not the core essence of what spirituality is about. Love.
Right.
Love of self and radiating it out to others.
Right.
Definitely
Absolutely.
spirituality.
All right, and this is how I end all of my interviews, with this one question, because I think it's very important. What is your current message to the world right now with everything going on? Is one thing you would say to everyone who is scared, who is worried, who is just down? What would you say to them with everything going on?
I think it will go back to what I said earlier, the little thing called love.
Absolutely.
That big thing called love. I've always believed, I believe that, it's cheesy to say, but love really is the answer. It's the answer for so many things. If you're going through self-hate, if you learn to love yourself and the uniqueness and the idiosyncrasies, if you're going through doubt of people who are being ostracized and, people who have been victims of systematic, racism and oppression, coming from a point of love will open up that understanding, open up a broader perspective, curiosity. Live your life being curious. Always want to learn. Always be striving to learn something else, to experience something different. There's so many countries I want to go to. And after this pandemic, I was like, girl, you've been waiting too long. After these borders open up and they let us, U.S. folks back in their country, I'm like, let me take advantage of that. Like your friend said, you gotta live. You gotta live like you live once. You can't live like you're coming back.
Right.
So curiosity, but love is the main answer. Like, do your best to just, and the thing is, like, people don't understand there's ups and downs with love. Even there's ups and downs in life. So if you're at the lower spectrum of love, where it's just like self-love, realize it's okay. You could still do the work, do the inner work, do the shadow work, whatever you got to do to realize, okay, this is why I've just been self-loving and not caring about anybody else. Let me work on this, and then let me go ahead and do what I can for other people. And what I mean from other people isn't necessarily like, oh, I have to start a charity, I have to do this and that. It could be smiling at someone walking down the street,
message,
and you change your mind from committing suicide because you smiled at them. It's the butterfly effect. It's the little things you do in life that could transmute and expand into something so much bigger. So it doesn't matter what you do. If you think it's little or small, do it, because it's important. It's a building block of our universe, and we need that. Absolutely.
Well, I don't know what to say. I guess we could just that's a great place to leave it. We've had an amazing back and forth. I'm very proud of you as well. I'm beyond excited for the future of your career.
Thank you.
I really can't wait. I know you have great things ahead, because just your energy that you have and our back and forth, I could tell you're just gonna kill it. You said you live in LA.
You too. You got big things coming. You got big teeth. Ooh, see, look, the energy was shifting my camera. Because you got big things coming.
Thank you so
Seriously. much. I'm so proud of you too, brother. I appreciate you so much for having me on here. I appreciate you so much.
I'm so glad I was given the opportunity to. You said you live in LA. I guess. Well, I just want to ask this. You live in LA. Are the fires really like bad? Like how you dealing with all of that?
Oh Lord, I had to try to cover my face with makeup. My eyes are swollen, like my throat's sore. I got my lemon water on deck. It's bad right now. I'm praying for everyone who's close. I have a friend who's close, and I'm just praying that she's okay. And everyone, it's just the air quality. It sucks because with the pandemic, LA's air quality was finally clearing up, and then boom. The fire, and I pray for the props and so many prayers and respect for the firefighters out there fighting. That is not an easy job. But I just pray that everyone close, anyone who's been affected, I hope that we all could put up, send some light, send some prayers out for them, because man, like it's tough, you know. Besides the air quality, it's really tough, you know. And on a deeper level, I'm like, man, is Mother Nature trying to yell? Like, what's going
Trying to,
on?
yeah,
Like,
right. Yeah,
like, you know,
right,
like, man, that's the sad part, you know. I mean, besides
right,
humans, like animals have died in those
right,
forests and those fires, you know,
right.
like. So it's really sad. It's really sad as a whole. And I just, you know, I've been chanting. I'm like, I'm a chant for rain. No, you know, I'm like, we need some rain. I was
Right.
talking to a friend who was like, it never rains. And I'm like, oh, but do you believe in miracles though? Do you believe in the
Remember,
belief of belief? Okay.
right,
So
right.
man, I'm hoping, you know, I just hope that they quiet down, because our forests are, oh, I hope that you know, they're just gone. I'm calling it. They will be gone. They will be
Let's
gone
go.
sooner
Let's
than
do
we could imagine. I'm calling it right now.
Let's go.
Yes,
Let's go.
yes, let's
Let's
go.
go. Well,
Let's
thank you
go.
so much
Hey.
for coming. This was an amazing experience. I probably will never forget. I love doing interviews because I learn new things, and I just love these genuine conversations. Every interview I've had, so from the beginning, there's been a major shift in our interviews, because from when I first started, it was kind of just like, oh, questions like da 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 da. But now, as I've
Yeah.
gotten on, it's more genuine. There's more of a flow. There's more of a conversation. I
Yeah.
was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So thank
And if
you.
you didn't tell me, like, you're good at this. You're a natural. Keep doing it. You're gonna learn tricks as you go along. But like, don't lose this amazing essence that you got going and wanting to connect. Because it was easy for me to open up because you allowed it. You know. So
Absolutely.
man, I appreciate you. I really, really do.
I do too.
And I
Thank you.
appreciate everyone down there. What's up, y'all?
Thank you
What's
guys.
up?
Thank you all so much for showing her love and being very kind and coming to this interview. It was amazing. So thank you so much. I'm definitely gonna keep in contact with you. Can't wait to see where your future career takes you. And guess I'm gonna end it here. All right, have an amazing day. Please stay safe. I know it's crazy where you're at, so just stay safe, and I'll be praying for you and yours over there. So
Thank you. Same to you. And everyone down there, man, keep going, keep pushing, never give up. I know it sounds cheesy, but seriously, tap into that gift, hold on to it, and get it out there. The world needs your gift, and especially right now more than ever. Yeah. Especially right now.
Some of the best advice is the cheesiest advice.
Bless up.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye. Stay safe. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.